And you guys watch and see if you see Mike come in.
Okay.
Uh,
The only thing I see is line 31 misspelled my name.
I do that.
I need another N.
You do.
Or I need an N, not another N.
Try to give you everything you got coming.
Right. I don't see anything else.
I didn't even see that, to be honest.
Okay, well,
But it's not my name, so.
right.
When did you come back from Lake? Back a while?
No. Oh, yeah, we came back like a week ago,
Oh,
but we left the dog because Kate and Glenn were gonna be there for another week.
right, let them have the energy of a young puppy.
Right,
Did they bring it home?
they brought her home.
Day
last
early?
night. Yeah, they brought it home last night, brought her home last night,
Oh.
so. She was very well behaved, she learned how to fish, and she, yeah, she was good, aside from getting them up too early.
Has she gotten over leaving the property? Your
Well,
property on Blacktop?
we're so nervous about it that we've been very careful. But we're starting now to let her
Have a little more confidence?
a little more confidence, although tonight, when the Bell children all appeared at our door, which they do many nights, she got out. And then they were riding their bikes home and she wanted to follow
Oh,
them
you want to
home.
go home with that?
And then she wouldn't come when she was called, so we had to get them to ride their bikes back up into the driveway. And so her recall is not great. I've never had a dog that really came when they were called, when they really.
Not if there was something more interesting.
No, so anyway, but. she
And I
was-
have to say, children are far more interesting.
Yes,
Oh, yes, the food's lower,
right, right.
good energy. It's all good.
All right, I don't see anything, I don't see Mike, but I don't see.
Right, okay. He said, Mike had the text said he'd join us, and so.
Well, I make a motion that the minutes be approved with that minor amendment.
I will second that.
All those in favor, aye? Okay. All right, so, the hearing,
Yes.
April 17th. April, August.
No, we
I-
gotta do it sooner than
August,
that.
no, August 17th.
August 17th.
Does that work for everybody? Does that date work for everybody?
I'm in town.
I don't think, well, in fact, I'll just make sure we don't have any other business. You know, we haven't, no one's been in working on a plan, so, you know,
Right.
so I think if somebody brings a plan, we'll push them to September, they'll be fine. But I don't think anybody's gonna, like I said, by now, you usually know if there's a subdivision coming of some kind.
Okay,
And so I think the 17th would work well.
That all happens during our regular meeting time?
yeah,
Yeah, I think probably it will. I think it will probably be our meeting
Yeah.
essentially, yes.
oh, yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be our meeting.
Yeah, I mean, we'll try to publicize the word and get it out. Hopefully you'll get, but I think the key is, and then this is what Mike can help us with. He's just joined us now. Hi, Mike.
Hey, how are you doing?
How's it going with the family? You look like you're 25 years old. They wore you out yet?
Yeah, well, we've been busy. We went up to Mount Washington today. We just got back a little bit ago, so.
Nice.
Do you run to the top from the parking lot?
You know, I offered to race them up, but they didn't want to do that, so. No, we drove up. It was cloudy when we got there, but it was in and out of the clouds, and then it got kind of clear, so it was nice. It was good. Very windy, but
Very good.
all good.
I've got good news for you, Michael. Marshall Beatty's headed your way tomorrow morning.
Yeah, that's what he said.
I told him I appreciated him painting my garage first, so that I could visit him in the hospital after he's painting Mike's metal roof.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
No.
we'll see how that goes, but, you know, no matter how it goes, it's gonna be better than if I do it, so.
Right,
Right,
I don't know, he is the value in Meredith right now, he's a good
Yeah.
guy.
Good.
So I was just about to say, Mike, and we were, Jane has the notice for the 17th. And and I know you've had family for a couple of weeks. I think the only potential fly in the ointment is we have to get it up on a website
right.
prior to the 17th, so people would have a chance to ask us questions if they wanted to. And is
Yeah.
that doable, Mike, in a simple
I don't-
format?
I don't see it as a problem. I mean, I think that, um, yeah, I don't see it as a problem. I think I can set it up in the documents and then provide a link to the chapters, a whole list of them, is what I think. So I'll list them separately.
Right, so you'll click on the chapter of your choice and a PDF of that will come up, is that?
That's the idea, yeah. I think what I can do is to, have a separate location for that, you know, or a separate directory for that. And then have people, the first link go to the directory, which will simply list all the chapters. And then they should be able to click on them individually from there. At least that would be that's my plan.
Yeah.
But yes,
Okay.
I don't see it as a big problem.
As we get closer to the date of the 17th, will you be able to give us any metrics as to how many people have clicked on it?
In theory, the metrics, we have to talk about, you and I have to talk about that because we apparently, although I am ashamed to admit it, have never set up the metrics in a way that we can get to them. We've never established.
But over the years, you've sent me some every now and then, right? Here's how many people have visited last month or whatever.
Yeah,
Or-
I may have, but when I tried to go into it recently, it acted like it didn't have us there set up, so I have to set it up. But I'll add that to my list. But yes, in theory, that should happen.
So, so where are we gonna advertise it besides
I think Connect Cornish,
Connect Cornish?
town webpage, town Facebook page, Valley News.
Plain facts?
I don't know that we'll make an issue.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no,
Well,
Is there
no,
mu- are
I-
they
it's
monthly?
July, August? No, there's no, we're in that 2 month period
Yeah.
now.
so
Right,
so there won't be another.
right,
like
isn't
that's
July, August is combined, so
Right.
July must be out.
It is.
Right, so, right, okay, so we won't be being plain facts.
Right, but the reality is if you wanna get people's attention, you put it in Connect Cornish.
Mhm.
I mean,
Right.
that's the hottest thing,
Right,
you know, or get Ken Gilchrist to post it on Nextdoor.
right,
That would be-
And we need to agree, or if I'm not still with you, you guys need to agree on whatever changes are going to take place that we haven't already dealt with. And there are a couple of things. One is I think it's in the population chapter, but my brain isn't functioning very well. Where I suggested that we look at maybe it's taxation. I can't remember. Where I suggested that we use a different stop and think. That we use the state's figures for the equalized tax rate to compare Plainfield to other districts, as opposed to using the absolute measure of what the tax rate is. The problem with that, I mean, on the one hand, that makes us look a little better. But the problem with it is that everything else in that chapter is done using the absolute value and not the equalized rate. So it may just add confusion. So I had that thought. I put a bunch of stuff in that chapter about it. Did a chart for it, I think, in there, and suggested we might use that in place of a chart that was in there. I'm not really sure at this point that that's a good idea, but that's one thing that we either accept or don't accept, and then I need to get the final, whatever the final is, I need to get copies of those to use to put up on the website.
My plan tonight is to make, I have all the most recent July versions of
Okay.
the chapters as Word documents. So I was hoping that tonight we will finalize any dangling edits and I will make them directly in this edit and then I can send them all to Mike.
So, and when you send them, Eric, can you put an F at the end or a final at the end so that I can make sure I separate them from all the other copies that I have?
Yeah, they say final,
They do say the final? Okay.
July final.
Okay, that's fine. That's great.
There were June final.
Yeah, oh, no,
Yes.
I believe, I know.
So the question is which table to use? Which
Yes.
makes,
Whether to venture off from the comparison of the straight rate dollars to an equalized version, which the state produces.
Right, and I think the answer is if you're solely talking about Plainfield
Mhm.
over time, you use the rates that people are familiar with. If you are comparing one town to another, you absolutely must use the equalized rates or it's just garbage.
right, is there,
Okay.
would there be any reason to put both in?
Well, the state provides it each way. They provide one, I believe this is accurate, they provide one list of comparisons using just the flat rate. And then they provide a list using the equalized rate.
Yes. Yes, and if you're gonna come, if you just wanna look at tax rates for fun, the first list is fine. If you wanna see how your tax bill would compare to someone else's in a different town, if your house was in that other town, you have to use the equalized rates.
Well, why don't we put both of them in?
Because I think it'll cause confusion, but maybe not.
Like, I feel like we could maybe retool Mike's actual comment and put it in the chapter, like, put it in that section, so it says from DRA, it's an explanatory paragraph that just says, it specifies the difference between base tax rate and full value tax rate or equalized tax rate.
Right,
So if we left this paragraph that talks about tax rate and then and then below that, put in like an asterisk and put this paragraph in that explains the difference between the two of them, then we're establishing what we're talking about, but also what exists. Does that make sense?
yeah, yes.
Okay.
That would
I
mean,
think that works.
that would mean putting both in.
Yeah,
With an explanation about the difference.
It's kind of like what we did with the averages, because people think of averages and the median is not the same as what people think of as averages.
I mean, I don't see any reason not to put both in. For people that are really into this stuff and really wanna analyze it.
People that are mostly interested in it are wanna know how our tax rate compares to other places. And to do that, it has to be equalized, or it's just, like I said,
Right.
because everybody's assessment dates are different. And as we know, the markets change by the hour, let alone by the
Right.
year. And so I think having both is fine as long as we explain that one is equalized to the same assessment. And the others are just natural, and the natural ones can be used for year-to-year comparison within Plainfield,
Right,
but they can't be used to compare Cornish.
right. Does that seem okay to you, Mike? To do it that way?
It's not, at the moment, Jane, I don't have in my head what's around it. So I'll leave that to Eric to make sure that it reads correctly, but if we can do it that way, I think it's fine. I'm not sure people will distinguish between the two, but that's not, I mean, but having them there, if it raises question, we can answer the questions.
Okay,
yeah, I mean, I'll put some version in there and send it out and see what we think.
okay,
I mean, it's basically it's just taking that comment about explaining the difference between the two and
Right.
adding it to what is already there.
Right. Cause you
Fair
have
enough, I
both
mean, that's,
now. You already have both.
There's a full tax rate.
What about that chart you were talking about, Mike? You said something about a chart that had the different value, the different tax value in it. I
yeah, we're
don't,
talking, yeah, it's a different,
is it
Oh.
the equalized tax? Is it a chart with the
well,
equalized?
what I did and what I sent to Eric was to take out the original chart, which I shouldn't have done, I should have just crossed it out or something, but I took it out and put in the equalized rate chart. But it's easy enough, to grab the other chart from the state and plunk it in there. Just we need to explain to,
Right.
it might be beneficial, Eric, to put at the top of that chart that the true value of that chart is to compare our tax rate year over year, but it does not give an accurate picture if comparing Plainfield to other districts.
Right, I mean, if you feel like, right, if one of the charts, if the natural tax rate chart lists all the other towns,
Mhm.
I wouldn't put it in. I would just be done with it. I mean, because it has no value. It doesn't mean
Mhm.
anything. I would say that if you put the equalized rates in, so people can compare, and if you wanna tell people what the Plainfield tax rates are since the last revow, it's only 5, and you can just list them. But you don't need, I think there's no
Yeah,
reason.
take the single, take the singles row out of the plain value chart for Plainfield. And say,
Yes.
here's the changes in Plainfield over the last 5 years. And then you put in the equalized rate, say, here's how Plainfield compares to other districts using
Fairly
the state's
compares to-
equalized.
Right, and
Well, the chart will need to have some type of a heading, yes?
Yeah, and that's what Eric was talking about just a minute.
well, the state has it. I mean, they tell you it's equalized tax rate, state of New Hampshire or whatever.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that's the heading of the chart. So long as we have explained what the equalized tax rate means, then we should be able to use that chart without a problem.
Yes,
Correct.
and I would stay away from the chart that has Plainfield compared to others in their natural state. I would
Okay.
unequalized. It just doesn't provide, it'll, as Mike says, it just leads to confusion. People won't know the difference. And they won't care that much, but I think,
Is this translating to what you've got in front of you?
Not really, because so we're talking about getting a new chart, a new graph.
I think it's the chart that's in there now. And Mike
Yeah.
took one out.
Well, I'm not seeing any charts under the tax rate section. Property tax rates.
Have you opened it in Word?
Yes,
Because what I found was that that section seemed to disappear if you tried to get it straight off the internet and not open it in Word separately.
Which is why I'm not dealing with this.
I mean, it's just, let me look at the other version, but
Because I put in the equalized chart, I think. I mean, that's what I intended to do, so. Which chapter is it, Eric?
chapter 4.
4.
Chapter 4? Okay, hang on a sec.
And when I tried to open what Eric sent on my computer, everything was overlapped and off to the side, and it's like, okay, I'm not meant to do this.
What kind do you have? What kind of computer do you have?
One that I turn on,
Right, okay.
and it has, I don't know what level, like 10 or 11, or it's a Lenovo is the name of it.
There's no chart there.
I'm sure it's because
Yeah, we never had a chart
Processing that-
for tax rates.
because I have an older.
So it sounds like we don't have a chart in there for tax rates, but we could add an equalized tax rate chart.
Well, especially if Mike's got it on his computer to be able to.
Yeah, hang on just a second.
See, it's a good thing I didn't get that ice cream to celebrate,
I know, it'd be melting.
yeah.
We're in the home stretch.
It's just, it's out there in the distance.
Okay, my apologies, I guess, because I don't see a table in there either on mine. So I thought I had put the table in there and I, for whatever reason,
I can easily send to Eric tomorrow a PDF table of equalized tax rates for the state of New Hampshire. It'll be a couple of years, it'll be 25 or 24, whatever, I mean, they're always lagging. But if that's something you guys want in there, we can include it. If you're happy, if you don't care, we don't have to. But it should be,
I think it's useful information.
Yeah.
I mean, given the size of the master plan, adding another chart.
Yeah.
I
so,
think there's some people, you know, who are,
so if I send you a PDF, will that drop in okay?
Yeah, I think I mean, I have to convert it to an image file,
Okay.
but I think
You
that
can
would
just snip it.
Yeah,
So if I get it to you,
you can get it to me.
so I will send that to you tomorrow morning.
okay.
Easy enough to do
all right,
mean, you-
apologies, guys.
with the numbers, because that's where, that's the
Thank you.
chart where Plainfield, you know, is 184 out of 230. So 230 being the high.
It is what it is,
Right.
you know?
Yeah, and in the equalized rate, it ranks 149 out of 228. So,
Right, tax rate, so we've actually done better, we've dropped down a little, so that's good. We were 185.
Right.
But actually, I will get that to you tomorrow morning, no problem. In fact, I can probably go there and get it to you.
So we're gonna still do two, though.
No, we're just gonna do the equalized one.
Okay,
Yeah, and I think that's fine. I can give Eric the last 5 years of tax rates, since the reval 4, there'll be 4 since the reval. And, we can put them in or not, but, you know, they're,
okay.
I mean, and the next question becomes whether you break them down, school, county, and town, or you just give them the total, but, I can get him some data.
Okay,
There's-
so what other areas, Eric, do you find we have dangling participles?
Yeah.
Mike, when you gotta run, it's the last night you see those guys, so don't be a
Yeah,
hero, don't be a
they're
Mary Lou
running-
Mac.
yeah, they're running around getting packed and whatever at the moment. We're good, so.
Yeah.
When
Excellent.
it's time, when they call for ice cream, at the table, then I definitely will run.
Well, we're gonna need 5 over here. Come on, bring 'em
Hey,
over.
listen, we've gotten into a thing where, you know, no matter what we do, if we hike and then we have ice cream. If we bike ride, then we have ice cream. And it gets to the point where the kids say, well, we woke up this morning, let's go have ice cream. You know, it's like, so I've had enough ice cream in the last week to last me for a while.
It'll work out.
And there was another area that you were concerned about, Eric and Frank, forgive me, but I can't remember what it was. I've got another person in here online with their camera pointed up at the ceiling or something. Do we know who that is? I don't know that it matters.
So really, the only things that I had were, we talked about the duplicate tables, which we've corrected. And then the tax rate question. Those are really the only 2 things in the chapter 4. I think
Okay.
we're good.
All right, all right. The other chapters are
We're good.
all good.
Yeah.
They look great to me, they look fine.
Yeah, and Eric, you did, will say it publicly, you did a stand-up job
Yeah,
putting those things together. I mean, really.
Thanks for also
Hey.
pointing out inconsistencies with the 12 versus 11 point. Sometimes those can, it's helpful.
It's all right, it's okay.
Okay, um. So, obviously hard to know what kind of turnout we'll have for the hearing. I really don't expect that there'll be a lot of people, but, you
We're
never know.
we're not doing like refreshments or anything like that,
No, no,
are we?
no, 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 no.
Okay,
So, so probably we should just put things up and kind of quickly go through each chapter. And not read the whole thing, but put it up, and obviously if people have read it on the webpage, if they have any questions about a particular chapter, which I think anybody who's gonna come is probably someone who's got something to say about a particular
I
chapter.
would
Right.
think so,
They're
yeah.
not just coming to say, good job, Dad.
Yeah.
So, so, um, in looking through it all, the only concern I have is that I think we could be accused of having very general, generic kinds of goals
Mhm.
and
Yes.
very general, non-specific, we hit specific recommendations.
We're
I'm
light
not
on the
saying-
recommendations.
What, we're
We're
light on the
light on
recommendations,
the
but I
recommendations.
mean, I don't
Not
know.
the energy chapter.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, yeah.
I think people
Yeah.
are gonna have a lot to say about that chapter. That's my
Okay.
theory.
Okay,
Because it's, there's a lot of, it's a very strongly worded and, has very concrete
right.
asks,
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
that's just my thought about that.
Okay, well, hopefully we'll get a couple of members of the energy
Yeah, to
um
speak to it.
committee here to respond to those kinds of
Yeah.
questions. I mean, I think they wrote it,
Mhm.
and hopefully we'll be able to get at least a couple of them here. And maybe more than that, maybe we'll get a bunch of them, but I think we can tell them, we can say that compared to the other chapters, theirs is the one that has, the most complex or more specific recommendations. Therefore, we think if there are gonna be questions, it'll probably be directed at them.
I think if we could maybe ask like a representative from any committee that contributed a chapter to try to be at the hearing.
Right, would be Conservation Commission and Energy.
Yeah.
Those are the only two.
Yeah, the only one that I think I'm bothered by a little bit is the housing chapter. Because we make a lot of noise about wanting to support affordable housing.
Right,
But there is virtually no recommendation in there of any way to move towards that. And I don't know that I know the answer to it. I mean, we don't control the prices of land or the prices of construction. But it feels to me like one of those things that we make a lot of mouth about, but we really don't want to do. And if I were interpreting that chapter, that's the way I'd interpret it. I think people are reluctant to promote smaller lots. They're reluctant to do any kind of assistance. Yeah, but I don't know. That's one chapter where I think we could be
yeah,
questioned in a way that
right.
maybe we should be.
What's the process or plan so people read this, then there's an opportunity to comment or make recommendations or give feedback. So do we then take all those recommendations and decide, are we gonna make additional edits to this based on community feedback or?
I would think in
Potentially.
recommendation and goal area that it would be
I think.
relevant to
and we're not like-
re-examine
Yeah,
those
I think it, yeah.
in view
I
of
mean,
the
if
comments that we
there are
got.
people who felt strongly that we ought to add a recommendation about
Yeah.
this and so.
Yeah,
Then I think we can discuss it as a board.
Yeah.
After,
Yes.
at our own next meeting.
Right.
Not decide at that moment, are we gonna change it?
Right.
But,
But I don't think we wanna rewrite whole chapters based
no,
on.
no, I just
Okay.
think it's,
It's not like, we're not changing the content of the master plan, we're
No.
just changing the recommendations and goals that
If-
people have.
Potentially.
if potentially,
Yeah.
if someone said, you know, why didn't you do,
Mhm.
Cause the goals and the recommendations that we have in place already are very similar to the ones that from the last master plan, we didn't change a lot.
right,
But then when you look at the responses that we got from the community survey,
correct.
they also were very similar to what we received in the last time we did a community survey, so.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, I think the main thing is that the master plan is reflecting what the community has said,
Right,
right?
right,
What we have documented as feedback from our
Right,
community,
right.
and that's in the master plan.
Right.
So,
Cause one of the points of accessibility for the master plan is the survey information, isn't it?
yes,
I mean, anyone who's looking, it goes under master plan, there's one of those headings for an option to go to
the
is
community
this, is
survey.
the community survey.
Yeah.
I
And I think
assume
it
that was
probably
the
makes,
case.
makes sense for us to have a copy of the, kind of like that final consolidated version of the responses to the
Mm.
community survey, so that we all have a copy in front of us. If someone says, well, you know, why not this? We'd say, well, the community survey said there was only 40%
mm,
of the survey respondents felt that this was an important issue. You know, we didn't have any response that was over 50% that would have made us say, okay, well, more than half the people who did the survey felt that it was important to have smaller lots or do something like that. I mean,
When I think about the number of responses that we got for the survey, I know that we did well on how many that we did, got as far as a percentage of the town. But there's been such a brouhaha over the town meeting having, you know, the same
Right,
two
right.
hundred and fifty people representing and voting for the whole town. That, I guess one of my concerns is that we're gonna get that kind of feedback on.
well,
on
then
this
I would
sort of
then
thing.
say, oh, yeah, yeah, I'll have to try to.
I'm not gonna bring
But
that.
I mean, then I would just say, how would you have, this is what we did to get the survey out to as many people as possible.
Yeah, and I think we did a wonderful job
Right, but
with the
I think.
survey and getting it out there, so,
Amy, that's the question to throw back to someone.
Yeah.
What else would you have done
yeah.
to get this survey, a response, that everyone had access to it? And the response rate is typical of other surveys that are done by
Yeah.
other communities. It would have been great if we had twice as many respondents, but what would you have done?
Yeah, sure, going door to door.
Right, short of going and, you know, are you gonna sign up for that? You know,
I just had some people come to my door today, that's why it made me.
Oh, okay. Oh, geez.
No, I'm happy with my faith, thank you very much.
Yeah,
yeah, I
But-
mean, if you had to come here to do the survey and that was the only option, that would have been a problem.
Right.
But everyone had all kinds of options.
There was
and
access of.
for like 2 months to do it.
Right.
Like, there was no, we,
hard to get deadline.
yeah,
But, no, I think you're right. That may be, we may get that saying, well, only 200, whatever it was,
But
200.
if there's somebody that shows up speaking that way, then I think that, we're within our responsibility to say, okay, you're here now. What would you have said? What do you want?
Did you
What your
complete your survey?
yeah.
right.
Did you complete your survey? What recommendations would you have? We're listening.
Right.
Did you help spread the word about the survey to your neighbors? Did you tell people?
Yeah.
Like, how did you help promote it?
We're gonna let Eric answer the survey question. I probably would say things depending on who's the questioner.
Yeah, more,
Yeah.
And as far as noticing this hearing, Yeah, we can't, there's a couple of avenues that we can't do, because we can't post it at the school's not open.
Right,
So,
If
I
you,
mean, is there,
there's a huge difference between people knowing about it and people coming,
yeah,
huge difference.
right.
yeah,
And
but if
so,
we've done our part,
that's right.
we can't,
We will get the word out and we will tell them that it's gonna be the 17th of August at 7 PM. And here where it is, and that the draft version is up on the website as of the 5th of August or
Mhm.
whatever the date Mike says he can have it done at. And then we'll, and that's just the way the system works. If you wanna participate, you do, and if you don't, that's okay too.
Right,
You know, it's just,
but I was saying, I think it would be helpful for us to have the consolidated results of the survey.
yeah,
So that as we're sitting here around the table, we would have that, each of us would have it in front of us.
and I think there was a report that Eric circulated to us all, right?
Right, right.
And the Survey Monkey just cranked it out.
yeah,
Right, but if we could, I think I'd feel more comfortable if we all had a copy of it
Yeah.
right in front of us, so if somebody said, well,
I think
why
I've got
this, we
that.
could say, well, this, you know, this is what we heard from the community.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, and I think having it through the Survey Monkey was a very good feather in our cap. So thank you for that, because, there's no way anything could be skewed or biased or subverted or.
Just,
I'm sorry, paranoia is creeping into my life, you know,
right,
that's-
but a group of 7 isn't gonna tell us how to run the town.
right.
They're not.
right,
But I just, having the Survey Monkey, like you said, with the printout, where it's like, this is the data right here. This is what we went by.
and maybe even a couple of other copies to hand out to somebody in the audience
Yeah.
if they
There you go.
said, well, what was on that survey
Mm.
that you guys, you know, maybe we could say, here it is, here's what the responses were, you know, I just think that,
Eric, I think one of us should take the survey results page and use Gemini or whatever to upload it so that we can search it, and particularly in the comments. If we want to know because they're all mixed together, if we want to know, you know, what comments were made about a particular issue, about taxes, about the school budget, about whatever, Gemini would go through those in about a half a heartbeat and pull all those together for us to see as a group.
I would
those-
like
Uh,
that
For those
idea.
of you who may not know, Gemini is Mike's AI assistant who
yeah.
keeps in his
Well-
shoulder or in his pocket.
Almost anybody who uses Google sees Gemini every day they use it. So,
But this is like a searchable database for the comments of,
Right,
yeah,
the
Google has a little system where you can upload document. It's like I uploaded the documents for the planning board, planning regs, zoning regs, whatever. And then you can just ask it questions in English and it will bring you back information from those documents.
We could put the master plan and the survey into Gemini. And then it would say, it would tell us where in the master plan the comments are addressed, right? Like is that what you're saying, Mike?
Yes,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah,
Yeah.
put the whole thing in there, the comments and the master plan, sure.
Yeah.
And just set it up so that we can ask it questions and it will put those things together. Be great.
Like if someone has I made a comment about this, well, here's your comment and here's where it talks about that in the master plan.
right,
And we can
And while
point
you
directly-
do
That
that,
would
some
make us
little
look
house
so
in
good.
Amarillo, Texas uses its air conditioning for a moment. Because they're down. But yes, no, it is crazy.
yeah, don't get me started about it.
No, but if you ask it really detailed questions on anything, it gives you really detailed information back. You have to
But it's
decide.
not necessarily accurate.
Exactly.
Right, you have to decide what it is or not, but it is amazing how quick it searches the
Oh, I
web,
know, I understand.
given what's on the web. You know, I mean,
but we're restricting it to the comments and the survey and the
which
master
it
plan.
would find to be quite boring to look at, just that
Good.
few number of pages.
I'm okay with
That's
boring.
okay.
It'd have to be a very, I think, judicious AI user, very cautious, very judicious.
Right,
Well,
we have at least one
Did I
resident who
mention
is.
that I don't know
Yeah.
what my computer?
well, I think I told you my story using Gemini AI to research the exhibit at the Historical Society, and they completely fabricated a biography of a man who they said served from Plainfield, and I thought, I've never heard this name.
Really, it was just all
They-
made up?
Completely made up. And when I was
Wow.
having this back and forth with them, you know, like, and finally, at one point, I said, what is your source for this information? And they said, Child's History of Cornish, page 234. Well, I happen to have Child's History of Cornish on my bookshelf. And I went to page 234 and there was nothing there. They
Really?
completely fabricated a biography of this man,
And cited a book in the page.
cited a
scary.
book and a page. And it
Damn,
was totally
yes.
false. And if I had not,
If you didn't know
if
your
I
stuff.
hadn't know, if I didn't know my stuff, I
Yeah.
could put all that up in my exhibit at the Historical Society and say, oh, we had more than one slave who served in the Revolutionary War, we had two. I mean, I knew that I knew it was only one.
But you know,
Yeah,
what
I had-
now, Jane is smarter than AI.
Yeah, right.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
hearing right
well,
now.
I'll tell you,
Yeah.
it was a scary thing. I really would have, you know, because I was asking
Yeah.
some questions about, you know, the Revolutionary War campaigns and which men from Plainfield served. And they gave me all kinds of bogus information.
Oh, that's
And one of
sad.
the things you need to do with that, Jane, and I had much less of an experience, but a similar experience with something I did, is you need to tell it you're wrong.
I do.
It doesn't exist.
I do, and then we get into this back and forth, I feel like I'm arguing with somebody, but no, I say that is absolutely false. And they'll say, oh, well, it's possible that, you know, something was misinterpreted or something like that. But I mean, a totally bogus biography
Yeah,
of a man who never existed,
but a
Never
complete
served.
biography.
complete, told me where he died.
I mean, there is no question, the human race is doomed,
Yeah.
right? We are on our way out.
I just watched The Handmaid's Tale,
Oh, boy.
so it's.
You know, we are done, it's pretty much.
Well, before we get,
It was very well done, but I'll tell you, I've been affected.
It's pretty neat.
Yeah,
but before we get too far on this topic, that I want to repeat what Eric just said, is that what we're giving Gemini, if we do this, is a finite group of information, and
Just-
asking it to be able to search that finite information
Right.
for us. So the facts are not going to shouldn't be
In
in
dispute.
question.
Okay.
Cause it's, yeah, and there's not that many comments to where we can't fact check and say, read the comment, read where it's
right,
citing the
okay,
comment.
yeah, all right.
I like the idea of being able to search the document that way though. To be able to make queries
Right.
within.
Right.
I like that a lot.
So the introduction to this, there were some things I was gonna put in, but I thought,
No,
I didn't wanna say.
you got favorable
I
comments?
know I did, but
I
I
think this
didn't,
works.
I didn't hear from Mike. Did you think the introduction that we're gonna put out to the public,
The invitation?
the invitation to come to the hearing?
Yeah, I thought I did respond to that, because I basically said me too, or whatever. I didn't comment on it, but
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
It does
So,
feel
so
like it's
these
been 2
words
years,
here I
doesn't
can
it?
use for the Connect Cornish ad,
Yeah,
the Facebook ad.
yeah. I was gonna say, by July 2024, we had the results of the survey and began painfully. But I thought, no, let's, yeah.
This
So-
means we were
all
thorough.
right. Guys, unless you've got something else for me, I'm going to skedaddle.
You're gonna go
Bring
and
us
get
ice cream.
Okay.
We'll
I'll
be
talk
over
to you later.
the place in about in a half hour or so, hope it's ready.
All right.
See you,
All right,
Mike.
take care.
See you.
Okay, so we're gonna put this out like at the August 1st, a 2 week.
Well, I will get
Do
the
wait for-
notices out before I go on vacation.
Okay,
So I will get it out between now and next Thursday. I'll wait a few days, but I'll get it out next week, just informationally. And I'll confirm with Mike and Eric that, you know, I don't wanna give people a date that they can see it online if it isn't,
correct.
if it isn't online.
And also, you know, I didn't fill out the remainder of the actual web address, because I wasn't sure what it would be after.
Right, and Mike will make a nice, easy shortcut or something that will, you know, when you take the link from the computer, it's this thing that no one would ever hand type in, they just would do that.
Right,
But we'll get a nice, easy link for those that can't just click on their computer and get it, so.
okay, Yeah.
So I need master plan. Confirmation, posting confirmation. And a link. And a link.
Do we wanna have something up at the libraries?
Yeah, well, we could certainly have them post this notice and talk about the notice at the libraries, you know, there's plenty of computers at the libraries.
mhm,
People can go and, you know, follow the link.
yeah. So will you get that to the libraries?
Yeah, I'll get the same notice that I put in on Facebook, Connect Cornish,
Okay,
Valley News will be a scaled down version, we don't need to
Right,
put all the
right.
verbiage in, but
right,
just a scaled down version, and then and then we'll ask Jim to post it at both libraries.
okay,
You can post it right by the public terminals.
right. Or, you know, on their bulletin board where they can.
Yeah.
All right, anything else?
I'll say something at the, select board meeting.
Okay. Yeah, it would be, well, we were saying we certainly, well, you were out of the room.
I was looking for that chart. I said.
Eric made the comment that he expects that the energy chapter has the most detailed recommendations and goals,
Right.
which may get some people interested.
Right,
And-
as much as it would be painful to have people interested, it would be nice if people were
Right,
interested.
but I'm just saying,
I think we'll be sitting here with 4 other people, some may have agendas, some may not, but I would love it if we had a room, if we had to move to a different venue on a different night,
Right,
but I just.
but could we be sure that someone from the energy committee could be?
Yeah, the
here?
Oxenhams have been battling the flu, but but Evan is the one who should be here, and so we'll try to get him to come.
Yeah, because there may be questions from the audience about the recommendations that
Right.
the energy committee is gonna be able to answer more, you know, more succinctly and better than we are,
Yeah.
you know? And the Conservation Commission, you think we could get,
I can certainly broadcast the notice to them and see if Megan, they don't have a meeting until September now. They don't have an August meeting, but they don't need a meeting. The members can just come, so we'll invite them.
yeah, just, you know, because again, the natural resources.
Yeah, some people might have questions about the inventory that was done, because
Right.
that's pretty expansive and
It's
it's
very- yeah.
very interesting.
It is very interesting. I think probably that's gonna capture a lot of people's interest.
So the Energy Committee, the Conservation Commission, the Select Board, well, the Lees can take care of.
Are the energy, conservation commission meetings public? Are they?
Yes,
Yes.
So. We should maybe just be careful, like if people, we don't necessarily wanna get too deep in the weeds about like deconstructing the NRI. Right,
no,
because we don't wanna make this meeting into like a line by line.
no.
So we could say like direct them to go to.
Right, if you're interested in learning more about the NRI process, Conservation Commission meets the second Thursday of the month.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Go see them.
yeah, no, exactly.
Right, and I think, I think we're getting enthusiastic about participation. I just don't see it happening, but maybe. And the problem is don't get rabbit ears. If there's only 4 people there and you know the 4 and you know they have agendas, then that's just, they came and we listened to them,
Right,
right?
right.
But, it's not, I think it's all, master plans are all about sort of vanilla in the middle, give you information, not be too radical a document, you know, I
Right,
think.
Yeah,
I mean, there may be a group sitting there that tells you, you know, you need to gut the school, that's really not something for the master plan.
Right.
It's something for the voters to decide if they wanna
Right.
change the way we fund education. So I think,
right,
I think if you're
yes.
doing a master plan for the community, you want a good school, cause good schools was, people don't go live in places where there are bad schools. Right, they go live in
Right.
places that have good schools.
Yeah.
So,
And so in terms of the next door thing, the thing that Bev posts every week, your comments. You
Right.
know, the thing about this could be incorporated into that.
yeah, I'll
'Cause
just,
people
I mean,
read-
I will have posted it on Connect Cornish and other, I've never done a thing with Nextdoor, I have no desire to.
But your
Bev
stuff
picks
is
it,
on there,
Bev picks it up and does whatever she wants to do with it.
right, so in your weekly.
Yeah, I will
things, You
mention,
could say, you could talk about the hearing and direct people to the website.
and
And
absolutely, we
say,
can
love
do
to see
that,
you there.
yes. And again, the only piece of that is the timing just a little bit. I don't wanna say anything until I'm sure Mike is.
Correct,
And I'm gonna be gone a few days, so we gotta just,
Okay.
but we'll, you know, Mike can help do that posting too. So he, you know, he's recovering from a bunch of days, he's had 2 weeks of a house full of, you know, I think there's 5 of them staying with Mike, and some of them are young and energetic. And so he'll pop right into shape in the next day or two, and then we'll get it figured out.
okay,
We'll get the word out.
okay,
People will have had a fair opportunity to know that we're meeting August 17th.
okay.
And is that our next meeting? Are you guys gonna meet the 5th? I'm not here, or
I'm not gonna be here.
I mean, or whatever that first Monday
I
is.
don't think we need to.
Um,
And so now we need to decide when we're gonna have margaritas.
yes, the most important part of the whole evening, and you're gone. I went ahead and advertised Jane's house for margaritas without asking Jane. Turns out she's not
I
here.
won't be here on the 31st, but if there were like. a
Labor Day is late, right? It's the 7th.
Yeah,
It's Monday, the 7th of September.
I'm gone the first week of September.
Is there any reason we
But what
couldn't do it the 24th? That's the 4th week. August is a 5 Monday month. Painfully.
okay. Potentially the.
So the hearing is
24th.
the 17th. We could giggle as we talked about the hearing, either.
Right. Or would it have to be a Monday night? Does it have to be a Monday?
It
night?
does not have to be a Monday night. It could be a Wednesday wouldn't be great that
If
week,
that's selectmen.
although we don't have a selectmen's meeting on the 26th. Which is the next Wednesday, you know, you said you're going the 31st, but I don't know when you leave. You
Well,
gotta have,
I'm not sure when I'm leaving.
you gotta have at least a chance to wash the pictures.
Right.
Before you get in the car and go.
Right, yeah, I'm not sure. I will know soon when we're gonna go.
But,
But I would say obviously after the hearing, but not.
Right, so
let's
maybe
not Put it too far out.
maybe at the
Let's
end of the
celebrate.
year, maybe at the end of the hearing, we pick the date after the crowd is left.
Okay, all right, that's fine, that's fine. That sounds good. Yeah. I definitely will know by then.
You're going back to PA?
Yeah, but I'm not sure, I'm just not sure when. But we'll definitely be there on the 31st. We won't be here the 31st.
Right.
So. Might go as early as like the 25th or something. Just depends. A couple of things,
No, this will be good.
okay?
Let's have this, and then the hearing is about change. It's not done, we're not presenting the final thing.
Right,
I think the key piece is that this is another opportunity, so if you're disgruntled that you didn't get to participate in the survey. What do you got? Help us understand,
right.
and, you
Right.
know. I don't think people think it would be wholesale changes, but somebody could point something out, and the point is, they're coming with that in mind. That it's still
That's what I'm
flexible,
thinking. I think anybody who comes is coming with, except for the, Energy Committee and Conservation.
right?
I think that anybody who's come probably comes with an agenda is my guess.
I would expect so.
Yeah, or has something they'd like to see in it. You know, I mean, the
Right.
master plan does become that place where people quote when they're doing grants, when they're doing
Right,
projects. But that's okay. I mean, if it's not an idea that's just not, you know, that we can't accept. You know, and there are guardrails here and here, if it's in the middle and it's something they want in the master plan and it's supported, that's okay,
Right,
that's good,
yeah, that's fine, that's absolutely fine.
be good.
All right, we done? I
Yeah,
make a motion, that we adjourn, is there a second?
A second.
All those in favor? Okay,
so I'll work with Eric and Mike, we'll get all this that we've talked about out, and we'll let you guys know, you know, there'll be an email or two before the 17th. That just says this is where we are,
Right.
you know, it's now posted on the web, notices are out. Something to that effect, just so you know.
okay,
that
But
it's-
as of right now, we're not meeting the first Monday in August.
Right, the meeting on the side, yeah, there won't be any subdivisions or anything of that nature.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna do any on the 17th, they'll have to wait, and we'll have to figure out, we probably aren't gonna meet the 7th of September either, that's Labor Day. Do you
I'm
know,
not gonna
you
be here.
wanna be just pissed off? The state of New Hampshire's election is September 8th.
I know.
That means every clerk in town in the state has to set up a polling place for the Tuesday, the 8th, coming off the Labor Day weekend, right?
Right.
I mean, you know, I haven't talked to Brad yet, but we'll set ours up Friday, right? Because the school's gonna get out of session and, you know, nobody's gonna wanna come back from the day at the beach or whatever you did with
Right.
your family and go set freaking polls up. I mean, come on, and it's a state election, it's a real setup, you know, you can't just make it up like you can on a local election when you're gonna have 300 people through, as opposed to
Right.
3,000.
Right,
Or well, never gonna get 3,000, but 1,500. And so that has to have the clerks in the state. I would think, I don't know if they had any input, but they've gotta be passed. Right, our clerk, which would be the same as every other clerk in the state, has to work some of that day. There's a period of time when she has to be in the town office the day before the elections, it's by statute.
Hmm.
Very nice planning, fellas. Bet they'd have been better to do it in August, get it out of the way.
well,
I think Vermont's is in August, or do it September 15th,
right.
whatever
Yeah.
7 more days is.
Yeah, that would
It's
make
just,
more
but
sense.
anyways, I mean, it's the primary, it's not, you know, it's this is one of those years, we'll have 3 of these before we get done. But 2, I guess. Anyways, that's my bitch for the night, it's all.
Okay. All right,
It just came to us as well. Michelle would argue that she's known about it for a while, it's only others of us that. It's okay, that's fine.
oh dear.